So the first thing I want to talk about is your collection paper. And your collection paper should really have 4 main components to it. Now, these main components are listed in the direction sheet in Blackboard under the assignments page. So look there if this is not seeming familiar to you. But your paper should really begin by telling me the importance of your topic. So why is it important to you and for children to read? So you're giving me an introduction, what is your topic? And then telling me about the importance. And guess what, guys? You've already done that in your blog. So it's taking what you wrote in your blog and just elaborating on a little bit more or formalizing it in paper format. Once you've established that importance, you're then going to go ahead and outline what makes literature high quality for you. So this is where you're going to tell me what are the quality features you look for in a text. You might even approach it by discussing how teachers or parents should select quality literature, and then explain how you used that criteria to select books in your collection. So this is where you're coming out as an expert in the field. You can now write your own children's literature briefly textbook. You are going to tell me what are the things that you believe all picture books need. This is where I want to hear you come through, but I also want to make sure that you are referencing the textbook. That doesn't mean you're parroting what all those authors have said, but you're letting me know kind of where you agree, maybe where you disagree with them, and how they inspired your thinking. Once you tell me what you feel makes literature high quality, you're going to go in and you are going to formally kind of type up 2 analyses for your book. So chances are those will probably be the 2 books you do a book buzz on. So basically you're taking that book buzz and you're formally writing it up in your paper. Again, I cannot stress it enough. This is not a book report. I do not want you giving me a summary of the story. But this is more higher order thinking, right? You're being critical. You're letting me know why you think that book is high quality, what you think the benefits are. You're telling me your interpretation of it. If I want to read a summary, I can go to Amazon or I can go to Goodreads. This is where I want your voice to come in, and I want you to tell me what you think about these 2 books. And then finally, in that paper, you should elaborate on how your collection connects to a topic or issue we discussed in court in this class. So we've talked about a lot of different topics. We've talked about challenging text, not meaning that that the vocabulary is hard, but the content might be emotionally troubling or taboo. We've talked about representation. We've talked about diversity. We've talked about single stories. We've talked about how to use kind of arts and when you're doing reading. We've talked about reader response theory. So think about these different topics and issues we've talked about in class and tell me how your topic is responding to that, how it's bringing that course topic to light. Do you have to do all of them? No. You just need to choose one to show me how you're drawing connections. So in a nutshell, those 4 things should be kind of the main parts of your paper. So that's your paper. Let's talk about your annotated bibliography. So your annotated bibliography needs to include all 10 to 15 books in your collection. So all of them are going to be listed there. We're going to use APA format. The reason being that in the world of education, which is where this class is housed, APA is king. So for any of you who are thinking of going into education, get used to APA and know it really well. Now, when you're doing that annotated bibliography, remember all the books are going to be listed alphabetically by the author's last name. And to me, the most important thing is the annotation. Remember, the annotation is the paragraph that comes below that citation. And that annotation needs to be 3 to 5 sentences. This is longer than the one you did for your genre assignment. And there's some specific things that I'm wanting you to include. I'm wanting you to tell me the genre, a brief summary, those quality features, and the reason it's included in your text set. Now, I want to be clear. When you say genre, saying that it's fiction or nonfiction is not a genre, right? Within fiction, fiction is more of a category that houses lots of genres, right? So you have realistic fiction, fantasy, historical fiction. And then under nonfiction, you have informational book, biographies, And then depending on the contents of the book, there's also wordless picture books, which could be fiction or nonfiction, graphic novels, poetry. So be specific and let me know what that specific genre is. Don't give me those umbrella categories of fiction or nonfiction. Be specific. You guys know this. And again, if you can't remember those genres, look to our textbook. They're listed in there. All right, so those are all the different parts of the annotated bibliography. So let's talk about how you're going to submit it. I'm going to ask that you include a title page, your paper, and your annotated bibliography all as one document. You'll either upload it to Blackboard as a Word document or PDF. Now, if for some reason Blackboard is not working for you, it's not cooperating, just email it to me. Just let me know, hey, I tried to upload it on Blackboard, it's not working. Email it to me. I just want to make sure I have it. And you'll notice there I asked for a title page, and the title page doesn't have to be anything fancy. Usually on the title page, all you would have is kind of the paper name. So for this, the name of your collection. Your collection should have some name, so what's the name of that collection? Then include your name, our course section, and the date. That's all you need on the title page. Then you'll include that paper, which is 4 to 6 pages, plus references. Your references should be separate. It's not 4 pages with your references. It needs to be 4 full pages, so 4 to 6 pages plus references. And when I say references, this means that you are referencing our course material. There should be some citations in there. So references is where you put who you were citing to back up your ideas, again in APA format at the end of your paper. And then after that comes your annotated bibliography. And I'd like that all as one document. If you're having trouble putting it all as one document, again, let me know and I can help you with that. I don't want formatting to stress you out. I care more about the contents of your work. So if you're having trouble with that, email me. And last thing, I'm going to give a plug. Go to the Writing Center. This is a formal paper. So when we do our thought drafts, when we work in class, you'll often hear me say, you guys, spelling doesn't count. Let's just get our ideas out. Let's go. Okay, so this is now a formal paper. We want to make sure that we sound polished, right? There are going to be times in life where we have to present ourselves and we're only judged by what's on the page. Use the Writing Center to make sure that your work is polished. They are instrumental at helping us with that. I mean, they help me with it all the time. I've told you I max out my appointments each week. So make sure you're using them or find someone else who can look over and proofread your work. Okay, the idea is we want to make sure that when you read it, it reads smoothly and clearly. So let's talk about the due date. So your collection papers, so that includes the paper and annotated bibliography, are due by end of the day, April 26th. And I want to make sure that that Tuesday is correct. No, it should be Monday. Let me change this really quickly. It should be Monday. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Monday, April 26th, by end of the day. All right, and I've purposely given us some extra time. I know a lot of deadlines are Friday, so I've moved it to Monday to give you that weekend and also Monday. So if you have a lot of course assignments, you can plan it out. So plan your time wisely. I really don't want any submissions coming through at like 11:45 p.m. Nothing good happens when you turn it in right on that deadline. So pace yourself. And if you want to turn it in early, turn it in early. I welcome that. But I'd like them all in by Monday, April 26th. If something comes up, let me know. Communicate with me early, right? I'm going to hold us to this deadline, but I also am reasonable, all right? So talk with me. All right, so before I go any further, any questions about the paper and annotated bibliography?